Hello, everyone. Welcome to Property Zone Live on this beautiful Thursday. I'm Sean here. I'll be the host and speaker for today. And today, the topic is helicopter money. Helicopter money, maybe it's a strange word for many. Okay, helicopter. Everybody knows about helicopter. Everybody knows about money. But when helicopter and money put together, what does it really mean? Okay, so in today's session, I want to explain to you in further, and some of the questions as highlighted here will be addressed. Okay, so really, what is helicopter money? Okay, I think this topic, this term recently caught a lot of attention as well as a lot of controversial in regards of the topic that bring out by one of our deputy minister. Okay, he said that in view of combating the sluggish, the slow economy caused by COVID-19, government should actually give out helicopter money to the people. But this draw a lot of criticism because many people are afraid that Malaysia will be heading towards hyperinflation nations such as Zimbabwe and Venezuela. Okay, so in this session again, I would like to share with you some of the thoughts. Okay, some of the things that actually penned down by economists on helicopter money. So let's come back to the topic. What's really helicopter money? All right. Helicopter money is actually not a new term. Helicopter money is actually a famous terminology pointed out by award-winning economist called Milton Friedman. All right. Last time when US was facing an economic crisis, all right, Milton Friedman come up with actually a suggestion that government should give money directly to the people so that when people have money in their pocket, they receive the money in their pocket, they will go out to spend. And think about this. In our society, all the components are interlinked together. All right. So when they're interlinked together, people come out to spend, whether they go to a restaurant or whether they go to the hypermarket or go to the pub. When people start spending, people start buying stuff in the market. They create jobs. People who actually run the business premises around there, they can actually collect the money and start paying their staff salary. So in returns, when the business is ongoing, they start buying stuff from their supplier. So it's actually all comes down to spending. It's all come down to people spending the money in the economy by creating a domino effect, by creating jobs, either the workers or either towards the supplier. So when the money directly come down to people as a free money, they can spend, but they are also what should I say? The different side of it is the people are worried about the side effect that helicopter money will bring to economy, the side effects of helicopter will bring to individual retirement fund, especially in the longer term. Okay. Last time when there is no online banking like what we are now, people always talking about helicopter money is money coming down from sky. People throwing out the money from sky, and once they receive it, they go out and spend. But we have to understand the fact that if people are not so sure about their job, people are not so sure about the futures. Whatever money they receive, they may not want to spend it. Come and think about this in a very realistic example. Okay, recently government give out money for people who earn either below 8,000 or 4,000 by a different amount. This is considered as a helicopter money. So by receiving the helicopter money, what will people do? Do they actually go out and spend? No. Actually, what some of the people, they keep the money and then they put the money in their pocket, worrying that they might not have enough food. They might not have enough money to buy food and so on and so forth. So ultimately, the effects of the helicopter money to revive the economy, it very much depends on how people see things in the future. Now, second question is come up to example of helicopter money. By the word of it, literally, we will think that helicopter money is the money given out from government. Maybe not necessarily by helicopter. It could be from direct credit to your bank accounts. Is it the only way? No, the answer is there are actually other examples of government is giving out helicopter money. Now, this could be a bit technical or a bit complicated for many, but I try to summarize it in simple form. When we talk about government, there are different departments. Okay, one of the things is government is issuing their bonds. Okay, whereby central bank is printing out money. Only central bank in the world can print out money. In Malaysia case, the central bank is called Bank Negara Malaysia, and US we call Federal Reserve or FED, Fed in a short form. So, in general, the practice of the whole world is that when the government is issuing bond, they are issuing bond to many institutions, to the fund. It could be EPF and sort of thing. This kind of big institution will actually buy the bond from the government, and the government will receive the money in returns, and they can fund their expenditure. Okay, when the Bank Negara or the central bank wants to control the money, if they want to have more money in the institution, they will buy the bond from the secondary market. Now, the keyword is secondary market. So when the Bank Negara Malaysia or central bank as a whole buys the bond from the secondary market, it actually brings money out to the market. So in this case, it serves as a way for open market community to control the money flow. But if today's the Bank Negara or central bank is buying directly from the government, this is considered one example of helicopter money because by doing this, the Bank Negara or central bank is perceived as the ATM of the sitting government. Actually, a lot of the countries, including Australia, including US, they are trying to avoid this because when the central banks buy directly from the government, it will actually reduce the objectivity of the central bank. Okay, of course, this thing can be done during the crisis time because in an extraordinary time, we need extraordinary measurement. So by doing this, by central bank buying directly from the government is actually one kind of helicopter money. Okay. The third one, what is the difference when the central bank is buying directly from the government versus the market? First of all, if if the central bank is buying directly from the government, it basically increased the money supply permanently. Now the keyword is permanent. Okay, so because when the central bank is buying the bond directly from the government, the money supply will flow up to the market permanently. So in other words, the increase of the money supply will be in a permanent form. Unlike other quantitative easing measurement, by adjusting SRR, by adjusting interest rate, that increase in money supply is only temporary. So remember, when the central bank is buying the bond directly from the government, is one form of helicopter money, and it will increase the money supply permanently. So the second thing is, by doing this, it will reduce the objectivity of the central bank. So a lot of central banks are trying not to or avoiding being in the position to buy directly from the government. So in this case, you have seen example of US, Japan, China, they are all avoiding doing so. But there's recently one country, and the country is called Indonesia. Because Indonesia, just like many other countries, they are affected badly in view of the COVID-19. So in this case, the central bank of Indonesia was seen to be buying 40 billion USD bond directly from the government. So they are increasing the money supply so that the more money, more credit, more liquidity is flowing to the market, at least in a temporary form. Now, the third, the impact of government buying directly. So the central bank buying directly from the government is that it may reduce the confidence from the foreign institution towards the government debt servicing capacity. So in short, it may reduce the confidence of a country's currency. So in this case, if Bank Negara is buying the bond directly from the government, it may reduce the strength or the valuation of the ringgit Malaysia. Okay. Now, let me come to the fourth point. And these are the things many people has been talking about it, and many of the criticism that brings to the comment made up by our deputy minister is, if government is giving out helicopter money, sorry, Malaysia is gone. Malaysia will be another Venezuela. Malaysia will be another Zimbabwe. Is it really the case? What will be the answer to it? Will helicopter money lead to hyperinflation? When we talk about hyperinflation, we're not talking about 3-5% inflation. We are talking about 1,000, 10,000, or even 50,000% inflation over a period of few years. Okay, so will helicopter money really leads to hyperinflation? I think it will depend on two things. First of all, how much extra money are they printing out? If in Malaysia case, the government is printing out extra 2-3% currency, it will not have this kind of impact leading to hyperinflation. Because if you take a look example of countries like Zimbabwe, countries like Venezuela, this country has been printing money by 400%, 4,000% over a couple of years. So by increasing the money supply by 400%, 4,000%, of course, by common sense, it will lead to hyperinflation by 4,000% and higher. Okay, that's one thing. And second thing is duration. If many of the developing countries are facing COVID-19, but we all know that COVID-19, it may be a problem that we face in the 1 or 2 years, but it's not going to be a problem you're going to face for the next 10, 20, even 30 years. So if the government is giving out helicopter money as a temporary solution to get everybody out of COVID-19, this measurement is actually, so printing reasonable quantity of helicopter money and over a shorter period of time, it actually seems by some of the economists as an extraordinary measurement to boost spending, to boost investment, to boost business expansion, to boost employment. So whether helicopter money will lead to hyperinflation, in a nutshell, it depends on how much money, extra money, how much helicopter money this particular central bank is printing and how long it is. So if it's just for particular cost, I think it should be fine. Okay? And it's not my view as combination of many economists' view. If you draw easier to understand metaphor is that if you're not feeling well, you need some strong medicine to get you out of the sickness. Okay? But you know the fact very well that if you take the medicine, the strong medicine, continuously for 1 year, for 12 months, it will bring a very negative effect on your body. You know very well that. But to cure a very short-term illness, you need a very strong medicine. Maybe you take a strong medicine over 2 days, 3 days, or within a week. Okay? So this will be the similarity of taking a strong medicine and using helicopter money to bring people out of the COVID-19. Okay? Now, when people or the government is actually implementing or giving out helicopter money, bear in mind, these people do not wish to give out helicopter money indefinitely. Their objective is very simple, because if you have seen what we are, our countries or any of the developing countries are experiencing now, is first a drop in GDP, and also the inflation rate has come down to zero. And it means that all the countries are having a deflation. Instead of inflation, negative inflation equals to deflation. So when many countries are having deflations, the objective of the central bank giving out helicopter money, if there's any, is actually to turn the country from deflation mode to a reasonable inflation phase. When I talk about reasonable inflation phase, economists will be agreeing on 2 to 3%. At least from negative, bring them back to reasonable normal inflation of 2 to 3%. Okay? So the next question is, does helicopter money always help to revive economy? It depends. That just like what I have mentioned to you is that if you are actually quite confident about future, every extra money that you get from helicopter money, you will spend it. You treat helicopter money as a lottery money. Today you won a lottery money, 3,000 or 5,000. If the 5,000 is in your hand, whether you will spend it or whether you will save it, is very much depends on your confidence in the future. If you feel that your job is going to be secure, your business is going to be stable, this extra 5,000 money given to you in your pocket or in your bank account, you probably will go out, have a good dinner. You probably go out and buy something nice for your family. Maybe go for a vacation. But if you know that you received the 5,000, the lottery money, by not knowing whether you still have a job by next month, by not knowing that whether your repeating customer is coming back to your store next week, probably you won't spend the 5,000. Correct? So, in other words, I actually like to read a lot about helicopter money and some of the government policy, what the government has done, what other countries have done in combating the COVID-19 or the severe economic impact of it. I want to look at one example Taiwan is implementing. Taiwan probably is not a very famous country that we look towards or benchmarking in terms of economy or government policy. But one thing they have proven to be work is that they have this thing in Chinese called 3倍券, 3 times the voucher. What it means is like this. Today, imagine you receive 5,000 helicopter money, or could be in the form of lottery. In the 5,000 that you receive today, you can go and buy a voucher from the government. Because once you spend the 5,000, the 5,000 will definitely go to the market. The 5,000 will go to the economy. In return, the government will give you a voucher worth 15,000. So come and think about this. I received 5,000 helicopter money. If I use the 5,000 helicopter money and buy a voucher, I can buy a voucher worth 15,000. And using the 15,000 voucher, I can go to any participating shop that actually participate in this scheme endorsed by the government and get whatever I like. I can buy a TV and get a brand new kitchen cabinet. I can renovating my house. I can buy nice trim for my car. No, I can buy new clothes, beautiful toys for my children. Can you imagine the impact is the people who receive the 5,000 as helicopter money and in returns they spend it and get the 3 times domino effect on the economy. So this will actually discourage people to save the 5,000, which is bad for the economy. This voucher will encourage people to use the 5,000 and spend it in the economy and create the domino effects and create job opportunity. Okay, the last but not least, if you listen to this, I want you to be aware. I think we should all be aware that actually our government is already practicing. It already have given out helicopter money. Think about the pre-harting package. People who earn less than 8,000, people who earn less than 4,000, they get 1,600 and 800 ringgit respectively without doing anything, without going out to have to work, without you have to invest your money, but you will just receive the standard 800 ringgit and 1000 ringgit. This is actually one form of helicopter money, if you ask me. Now, the question is, if you know that the government, not just in Malaysia, but you know that the government, the central bank in the whole world are giving out helicopter money by different quantum. What should you or what should we as an investor, as a fixed depositor, or normal people on the street be doing? Because we cannot control what our government is doing in their policy. We cannot control what our central bank is doing with their monetary policy. But as a person in the street, as I'm speaking to you on the screen now, what can you and I do when the helicopter money is giving out and is increasing its magnitude? First of all, you have to think about this. When helicopter money is given out, the supply of the money in the whole market has been increased permanently. Remember the word permanently, 永久性 in Chinese we call. So once the supply of money has been increased permanently, it means the value of the currency shall reduce by the same quadrant. Sooner or later, you will see it because nobody can define the basic law of economy. Supply and demand will determine the price. When there's more supply of the money, the currency value will reduce in the longer term. Okay? Because when you have more money in an economy and the goods and services remain the same, more money requires to buy the same goods and services. Okay? That's why some people argue, which I think it makes certain sense, is after 2008 last time, subprime crisis, Lehman Brothers crisis, government come out with QE, quantitative easing. Government give out helicopter money to help people get out of the crisis. And ultimately, people lost confidence in their fiat currency. People start buying fixed asset, tangible asset, such as gold, such as property. That's why you will see a push and pull factor in terms of the appreciation in this fixed asset in gold as well as fixed property. Okay, what we have seen 2008, this is basically the scenario. But today's, you will know that there's another asset class being added on. People are losing confidence in fiat currency. Other than going for gold, other than going after property, the other alternative now they are doing is cryptocurrency. Of course, when you talk about cryptocurrency, we'll always equivalent it to Bitcoins because the main things, if you're not familiar with Bitcoin, is that this thing come out since 2008 last time. When the government in the world, central bank in the world, especially US, are printing money like nobody business. People are losing the value in their fixed currency. Imagine you're a fixed depositor in the bank and knowing very fact that your own government central bank is printing money like nobody business and increasing the supply in the market. What will happen to the value of currency? They are worried about this. And the other example is in Venezuela. There's one lady sold a house 5 years ago. She put all the money she made into a fixed deposit, not knowing it. 3 to 5 years later, she withdraw all the principal money plus the interest, which is a lot because high interest rate. And when she go and buy a cup of coffee, the waiter in the Starbucks told her that whatever money she took out from the bank after selling the house, she can't even afford to buy the coffee. So this is basically the evil part of hyperinflation when your money is losing value. Now, come back to helicopter money is like, if helicopter money is giving out indefinitely by large quantity, of course, it will lead to hyperinflation. But a small dose of it will lead to inflation as well, where the money value, when the fiat currency is losing its value. So in this word, people are actually looking to buy fixed assets such as gold, such as property, and in current terms, you will actually see the demand for cryptocurrency like Bitcoin. You can see Bitcoins since the current crisis, since 6 months ago, maybe since 3 months ago, you even monitor the price of Bitcoin has increased from 9,000 to 10,000 per Bitcoins to currently above 19,000 per Bitcoin. Okay, so if you are in the game and you actually worry about helicopter is eroding the value of your money, buy something is tangible, buy something is fixed. All right, people go for gold, people go for cryptocurrency, but of course, in Malaysia and in many parts of the world, one of the safest thing is still properties because it does give you the capital appreciation, and the capital appreciation will further boosted by the loose value of the fiat currency. Second thing, other than capital appreciation, rental yield as well. Okay, both these two things will actually give, and it goes higher when the inflation kicks in, powered by helicopter money. Okay, so I hope my sharing for today in regards of helicopter money is not too technical. Everybody can actually have a better understanding what it is. It's not a new word. It's not a taboo word. Some countries are doing this. It's actually a necessary thing. If you do it in the right quantity, a right duration, you actually spur the economic activities. Okay. With this, I want to conclude the session for today. Thank you for tuning in. I see you guys next round. Bye bye.